This is a Moog 1. Well, kind of. You see, a normal Moog 1 has a logo right here. And they don't typically say multiply on the back. Guess who was back on Craigslist? No, I'm just playing. Facebook Marketplace this time. And I stumbled upon this Moog 1 at a ridiculously low price. And I asked the guy, I was like, why are you selling it so cheap? And he just said price to sell. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down. I'll come check it out. I head over there. It was about 20 minutes from where I live, so not very far. And I pull up, walks me inside. He has it set up on a stand, and he said, here it is. He's like, I don't know anything about it. I just buy, sell, and trade used antiques. So this is something I just traded a tractor for. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'll check it out. I walk in, I see the Moog 1 sitting there. And right off the bat, there's a few things that I notice. You know, there's no logo on it. The faceplate has some like taped on emblems for the different waveforms and things. And then on the back, it says multiply. Now, I love synthesizers, but I don't know everything about all of them, or even a fraction of them. I knew it was a Moog 1 just based off how it looked, but I've never seen the multiply on the back. And to be honest, it was just a good price. I didn't really know much about it at all. I was just down to get it. Turned it on, it just kept flickering, right? It would go to the little Moog screen and turn off, go to Moog screen, turn off. I didn't know that the Moog 1 did that. It takes like a minute to boot. So I made him an offer, we agreed, and then he pulled out the box and I was like, oh man, this dude's got the box for this thing too. Long story short, load in the car, drive home. I bring it home and then I just start Googling some things. I'm like, Moog 1, multiply, and I find this picture of a Moog 1 that says multiply on the back, and it's at Sweetwater, and it looks like that was the prototype, the internal name of the Moog 1 before it became the Moog 1. I thought it was broken, and I was like, whatever, I'll just buy it and figure out how to fix it. Or if anything Moog is nearby, maybe they'll help me out with it. So I do some research. Turns out you can hold down this like middle encoder and turn it on, and it lets you flip through different firmwares. I got it to a firmware version that was titled 0.5. So it's like a pre-release firmware. Flip it to that firmware, and then after a few minutes, it boots up. And I was like, oh man, this thing actually works. It turns on. You get it turned on, but no audio, no sound. I don't know if the keyboard's disconnected, but the lights over here weren't working, and I just couldn't get it to do anything. So I was like, you know what, let me try to update it. I read some things that said if you add a firmware update, it'll retain the previous version. So I updated it to 1.5, the latest version. And that was a mistake. You see, once I did that, the firmware was no longer compatible with the voice controller. And then it just kept coming up and saying updating voice controller wouldn't do anything else. Unfortunately, when I tried to go back to the previous firmware, it was gone. Did you notice that we circled all the way around the Moog 1? I thought it was cool. Oh, Steve, you're gonna say Steve. I connected it to the computer USB, I tried MIDI, and still nothing. No sound out of the headphones or out of the outputs. Nothing. It was just totally silent, and again, now it's just rebooting. Posted on some forums, got accepted to the Facebook group for the Moog 1. Lots of great info and really great people that have been nothing but helpful. And I reached out to Moog. I figured, you know what? I'm in Asheville, I'm close by. Maybe they'd be willing to help out with this thing. I'm gonna flip it over and open it up because, yeah, I wanna see what's inside. Not that I know that this is the problem, but there's some things that are disconnected. Lo and behold, a day later, they hit me back and they're down. They're down to check it out. No promises, obviously. No idea what's gonna happen with it. It could be totally incompatible. They might not have old firmwares, might not be able to be updated. It might end up just being a piece of history that looks cool. Let's hope not, because I would love to actually make some music with it, but also keep it as a prototype and maybe just, you know, make it modern and functional in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens, but next week I'm gonna take it over to Moog and drop it off, and I'll take you along for that journey. That's the story of the Moog 1 prototype called Multiply.